we in the Wi-Fi. Chillin' with the homies in the backyard. Sippin' a whiskey, about to slide out with a black card. Poolside memories, me and you looking at the stars. Trying to take it away. History in the making.
These mics are clean, bro.
Come on now.
I can put on a legit show.
We've been out here for a while, dude. Ooh, ooh. Wait, it's my favorite part. Hit it.
Somebody set me free.
Hey.
Wait, Robbie's coming in now. Hold on. Let him go.
Cold beer on a Friday night, listening to Zac Brown Band, doing it right. I'm with some good friends trying to free our mind from the days of our lives. Blue jeans and shoes and tie, I got my hat turned back and a joint to light. I'm about to hit cloud nine, Lord take me high. I might stay up all night.
Turn up.
History in the making, memories under night skies, troubles I'm escaping, staring into your.
Hey.
Somebody set me free.
Yeah. Oh, we're lit.
Come on, baby.
That's the one right there, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have an interview that you're worried about? Are you looking for a new opportunity in your job? You know, you're kind of lost. You don't quite know what to do. You don't know if you should be wearing a suit or not, or what questions you should ask your employer to be. Hopefully, you're hoping. I got the place for you. I know where you're going to go. Trust me. It's OhaganCareerCoaching.com. Guys, it's the only place we'll send you. Mikey knows, and I know. Jim O'Hagan is coach.
Yo, Coach O, 30 years of experience, killing it, passing down the tricks of the trade. Mm-hmm. He's been dealing with clients. He's been showing people how to. If you got a mock interview, you don't know how to answer questions. If you've been out of the game for a while, where things aren't working for you, and you've been trying, dude, it's tough. You try really hard, man, and it feels bad to like be rejected, not to know. And how are you gonna deal with that, man? If you're feeling lost or you need to brush up, hit up Coach O, OhaganCareerCoaching.com. Get yourself a plan. Shout out Anytown Actors Lab. Look. I will say acting is
what is it?
A dying art form.
Couldn't have said it better.
It is, man.
And that's the truth, dude. That's cold hard truth.
You're an actor.
Yeah, man. You know what it is? You're trying to live truthfully under imaginary circumstances. That's how I define acting. And I don't know, I literally don't know where else to send you except for AnytownActorsLab.com. And that's on my word. I don't know where else to send you, bro. Adam at Anytown Actors Lab. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Mike's word for it. Go check out the YouTube. Go check out the TikToks. They're free.
Yeah, start learning for free.
That's right. Start looking at his videos. You're going to know by the end of watching 2 or 3 of them that this is the place for you. I think slots are limited. There's one-on-ones going on online. Personalized sessions for you, taking you where you're at. Beginner, intermediate, someone who's been doing it for years, for decades, and you want to brush up or you're just feeling lost, man. I know how that feels to feel rusty, kind of feel like you're losing your craft. Adam's the dude. Hit him up at Anytown Actors Lab, AnytownActorsLab.com.
If you're here right now, you're listening to this, you know, or you don't. It's tough to start something. It's tough to put your blood, sweat, and tears, starting like just an idea and creating it into like a whole, I don't know, like a production, man. Mm-hmm. You Are Here podcast. This is something that I couldn't have done without Dave. Couldn't have done without listeners, because that's just the nature of it, man. And I just want to say patreon.com/YouAreHerePod. That is the place you could support us. If you like what you see here, if you want to just, I don't know, you want to support the good fight of creative young people. See?
I appreciate the young. Thank you.
Go to patreon.com/YouAreHerePodcast. And thank you so much to the people that are already subscribed. Thank you so much.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Dude, legendary episode today, dude. We're getting into it. It's 286, Mike.
Heck yeah.
286. We got Robbie Maxx back in the building, dude. Cuzzo's back.
We're back.
Welcome back, bro.
We're back.
How you feeling, man?
Feel good.
We got a release out.
I feel good.
Major.
I feel very good.
Dude.
It feels good to be back, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In studio, too.
Yes.
Yeah. It feels good to be with you guys.
Yeah.
Definitely feels good to be making music again, bro.
Oh, come on, man. That's what I want to get into right now, bro. I want to get into it right off the rip, dude. But before we do that, can you look into any camera, one of these cameras, and just say, this podcast is the greatest podcast you ever been on, Eli?
It's the greatest podcast I've ever been in my
Come
life.
on, and that's the Robbie Maxx stamp right there, dude. Come on now, dude, and let it be known.
You are the podcast.
Come on now, bro. Realest podcast in the game,
and I
dude.
like that. And
That's
I
a
like
stamp.
that. I
Let's
like
start
you
it
did that.
there.
Hell yeah.
No, for real, man. I think what I want to start with, bro, if it's cool, is for last conversation I had with you. We were at my grandpa's funeral, and we were chatting about. It was cool because, like, you know, you're in the throes of, like, it's just crazy couple of days, and you're lost. You're just bouncing around. You're seeing people you haven't seen in a while, and you're having all these kinds of conversations. But I remember ours was like a real moment of pause, man. And I was like, you know, fuck, I missed Robbie, and then you know, you got into talking about being a father, but then also this, like, you were doing the food stuff.
Yeah.
And you were saying, Dave, you know, the cool thing about this is it's still creativity for me, but what you don't know is, and a lot of people don't know, is I'm making music behind these videos.
Yeah.
And I related to that so much because I kind of not stepped away, but kind of shifted in what I was doing with my creativity, but kept it alive in other ways. And just to hear that you were coming back to music, you know, this way, and now the door's kind of opening again, and you're walking into this new version of yourself in music. I just kind of want to know, like, dude, where are you at right now? Like, you dropped a huge song.
Yeah.
It's T Wayne's on the thing now. I mean, come on. What was that moment like for you when you were like, I'm gonna make this song, bro? I'm gonna put out
I didn't even have a moment where I was like, I'm gonna make this song.
What?
Wow. When we were talking about it, I was making, like, I've been making music for the last 6 years. It's not like I stopped making music.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was never. I got to the point in the music industry where it's like, I've been burnt so many times, bro. Like, I just got burnt. And my heart, I do it for all the right reasons. You know what I mean? I'm very passionate about what I do. I have fun with what I do. As I got older, the timing was interesting why I stepped away, because I was engaged at the time, right? So, like, I had a big deal on the table. When that deal fell through, I'd been through the ringer with, you know, bad contracts, or just contracts in general. I don't even say bad contracts, just contracts in general. And you know, this was supposed to be what set me up leading into my marriage, financially, everything, right? And I knew I was going to travel. I knew I was going to do a bunch, but, like, financially, it was going to set me up. And when they pulled it, which I haven't really talked much about.
Can we get into it?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Oh, absolutely.
It's not a legal thing?
No.
Okay.
No, and it's no bad blood. Like, it's kind of part of the game.
Okay.
I'll just be honest as to where I was at the time. Like, I think everybody bought into the fact that I was a relentless, like, my work ethic was relentless. And I was getting to the point where the music was starting to catch up to the work ethic, you know? And people already knew what I was doing. I mean, we put on the best show. I think we put on the best show out of New Jersey. I'm to this day, I don't think anybody put on a show the way I did with DJ Lil
What was that like, though, bro?
Putting on shows?
Those shows.
The best. So, you know, when I talk to people about life, like, when we talk life, one of the things I say is, like, the best thing you could do is find your flow state. And it's not easy, you know, because there's so much day-to-day stuff that goes on that, you know, you can't really control and you have to deal with. But if you could find pockets of what your flow state is, where you're not thinking too much, that's the best thing that you can find. Like, that's the greatest space to be, because there's nothing, it is a flow state. There's no overthinking. It's just being in the moment. Those were the shows. And the more and more comfortable I got doing shows, and the more and more shows I started doing with big names, you know, it became second nature. And so I looked forward to those shows. And so being on a stage and just putting on a show in general, and owning a room and making people feel good, and, you know, all that is like such a, man, the high of it is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? It really is truly ridiculous. And so I fell in love with it. I'm in love with that more than I am making music, the process. Like, I love making music, don't get me wrong, and having music that represents, like, your feelings and your thoughts and whatever creativity you have, but it's the performance aspect. That's where people were drawn to me. And I think that's where I really built my audience. So, you know, I had gotten to this point, and I had also cleaned up so much. Like, I was in my 20s, I was having a good time, I was partying, you know, and eventually I cleaned up and was at this really pivotal point in my life. And I had a situation. It fell through. It fell through partially because I was being pulled in directions as to, like, how they wanted me to go about my music. And I could have done it. I definitely could have. Like, I'm talented enough to do it.
They want to create a control over your music.
I don't want to say they wanted complete creative control, but they wanted there was a lot of music that was coming out at the time. And mind you, I was a rapper.
Yeah.
Like, I was rapping.
Full blown
hip hop.
Everything.
Pretty thing kind of pivoted me into pop 100%, a little bit more, but I was still a rapper. Like, I can outbar no matter what I look like, I can outbar
I
a
always
lot of people.
I always talk about the Chris. When people ask me about you, I'm always like, oh, you got to go back and look at the freestyles with Chris
Yeah.
Webby on the street and stuff like that.
I mean, that's how it started. I didn't get into a studio until 3 years into rapping to
Right.
people.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And people saw the entertaining side of me, and they were like, "Yo, you got to try this." And then I got into studios, and I started to learn. I mean, we could go into the depths of my story.
Come on,
Damn.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, we go to the roots.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. All right.
Come
All
on.
right. So, I was an athlete. I mean, that was my everything.
Me too.
Yeah.
We all were.
Yeah.
We all
you
were.
know.
You're all right. We did some. We played some ball back in the day.
You know,
I won a lot, but
I didn't win as much.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
co-ed maybe.
nah. But I went to school to play. Yeah, exactly. I'm a great co-ed. Great co-ed.
Killer. First team all state.
Yeah, Hall of Famer, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I was at Montclair State playing football, and I wasn't really focused on
Red Hawks.
Red Hawks.
Come on now.
Red Hawks.
Represent.
Yeah. Shout out to all my Red Hawks, man. I haven't seen a lot of them. Some of the best years of my life, for better or for worse.
Wow.
But yeah, I was at school, and this is so stupid. I started rapping because of Black and Milds.
No way.
It's the truth. Like,
To receive back?
No. I didn't,
you both rap bars for Black and Milds?
I didn't barter bars for Black and Milds.
I thought that's what you're trying to say.
No.
Okay. My bad. That's on me.
No.
Street with a sign, bro.
No, I saw it right away. I saw the scene of like him. He's like, all right, I'll get for 2 Black and Milds. You can get 2 bars.
No.
You know?
You're at
Nah.
7-Eleven.
I was,
To the cashier.
Yo, I'll give you 16 bars if you got a couple miles, bro.
Miles for me, dog.
They're not champ like that. So I was a Black and Mild smoker, like a heavy Black and Mild smoker at the time. And I had all my football buddies and whatnot, but I would go outside at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would smoke my Black and Mild. And I champed my miles. You know what champing a Black and Mild is?
Tell me.
No.
All right, so it's like you remove all the tobacco.
Okay.
You pull. There's like a they call it a cancer paper that's on the inside. It's like a white piece of paper. Yeah, it kind of slow burns it.
Okay.
You pull that out, and so you use the cellophane to dump all. You take all the tobacco, you dump it into the cellophane, so you keep like the sleeve of plastic, and you
Okay.
dump all the tobacco in, and you get it all out. And you pull out the paper, and then you put the tobacco back into.
So you take the paper
cigar.
out essentially.
So it actually so it hits.
Okay.
So
We're doing this after, right?
Yeah,
Champing Black and Mild?
don't.
Okay.
So I would do that, right? So like 2 o'clock in the morning one night.
And you're QB1 at this point?
No. I'm way down the chapter. I actually went to school to play basketball, and I played in this Bergen County All-Star game.
Okay.
And cooked. I had a really, really good game. I got MVP of the game. It was like,
Let's go.
even my coach was like, yo, we threw the ball 7 times a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, where did this come from? I could throw it. You know what I mean? It's never had a shot. But no, so I played really well, and then the offense coordinator was there, and he was like, yo, you should play football. There's no reason you're not playing football.
Yeah.
So I got dragged in, but it was late into recruitment. So I wound up sitting out my freshman year and worked out with the team and geared up. Yeah, and geared up for my sophomore season.
Got you.
My sophomore year, but my first year playing. So first year at college, I would go out, I would smoke Black and Milds, and I'll never forget, there was this guy, Bo. I'm pretty sure he's from Newark. If I remember correct. Shout out, Bo. Yo, listen, Bo is arguably the reason I started rapping.
Wow.
Straight up, bro.
Dude.
I never rapped, never did music, even though my father's a great drummer. He's been playing since he was a
that's
kid.
right.
Like
That's
my father's a ridiculous musician, right?
Yeah.
So Bo comes up to me and he's like, yo, white boy, you champing a mile? I guess it's not what like white boys do, but yeah, I champ miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, so we're whatever. You wanted to, smoke my Black and Mild with me. So we're smoking a Black and Mild. And this became like a regular thing.
Right.
And then one random night he was with his people, his boys, and they were like, yo, we're going to do a cypher. And I had wrote one rap in high school, just like joking around. Wow. And I said, yo, I got something. And I jumped in and I remember it. My name is Max, baby. And all I do is spit fire. For every high you get, I get a little bit higher. And it's so ridiculous, bro. And I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, way better.
But yeah, dude, everybody was just like, yo, entertaining.
Yeah.
So they were like, so he started bringing me around.
Wow.
And by the end of my freshman year, I had a folder. I just enjoyed it so much. I had a folder full of lyrics.
Wow.
And I didn't know what it was going to become. I really was just having fun with it. And it was almost like a joke to my football team. Like, here he goes again. Here he goes. Here goes Max,
Yeah.
So yeah, it like kind of it was that, and then eventually there was a cipher. It was a fire drill. There was a cipher, and then these two guys, Lamont and Dan, who were my first ever managers, they heard me and they were like, "Yo, we want to manage you," and they want to bring me to Sage and Tyler, who had a studio in his crib, and I started cutting music and putting it on MySpace, and it was just like a weird snowball effect. And by the time I was a junior, my third year in college, I wasn't actually a junior. Definitely didn't have enough credits. I go into this class, and I was the only upperclassman in this class. It was like a freshman writing class, and I just never took it.
Yeah.
And so the teacher goes, what did you guys do in the summer? He's like, let's do an icebreaker. What's your name? What you do in the summer? So I'd say my name. And I was like, I made music. I put it on MySpace. And this guy, Elijah, turns around. Again, I give Bo credit and I give Elijah just as much credit.
Yeah.
Lamont and Dan, like, these are all people that at a time that it wasn't like I'm gonna do music.
Right.
It was just a real passion thing that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
He whipped his head around, long dreads, whipped his head around. He's like, yo, a word? And I was like, yeah. And from that moment, bro, we left class, we talked. Turns out that his brother had a studio in Bloomfield. His family were the Fugees, and they created the Score album and this whole thing. So I'm like, this is great, and then they bring me to the Booger Basement in Bloomfield. And for the first time I met Keith, who eventually I signed to. And I heard his production and heard what was going on, and it was way beyond anything that I was doing. And I was just enamored, bro. I was like, I'm never leaving this place.
Yeah.
And when I dropped out, my third year, I dropped out because I was not focused. I wasn't focused on school to begin with. I realized I was wasting money, and I had already quit football. I really wasn't there mentally. I buried myself in the Booger Basement, and the rest is pretty much history. I wound up staying there. I sat like a fly on the wall for a year and a half, watching Clef make music. I watched Cassius from Shady Records come in and do sessions, Montana 300, French Montana, Jim Jones. The list goes on. I was in there for sessions, and I was a fly on the wall.
Right.
But I was watching how it all worked. And it's like, I kind of just studied the game and developed as time went. I started out in a group. The group was Airplay. I wanted to do my first
Airplay.
Yeah, I started doing my first few shows. We were like a pop trio act, me, Keith, Wonder, and Bianca. And then when that fizzled, I didn't want to. I had to figure it out, but I was buried in the studio, and I started dropping my own music. I started dropping mixtapes and just having fun with it. And then when I started doing videos, is when it kind of Now, mind you, I was still a wild man. I was an absolute animal.
Right.
Like 48 hours up straight.
What do you think that was? Why
was I an animal?
You think you were just by nature, that's how you're built? Or was that like,
oh, yeah.
You're just
I mean, listen, if anybody knows me, they know I have a good time.
Yeah.
And you're also learning yourself, right? So like, whether it's alcohol or extracurriculars or whatever the hell it is, you're kind of learning yourself as time goes. And it's all experience. Like at the time, I think I was just doing it to be a part of something. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. It's not like I didn't.
Right.
Eventually, you realize it's not all it's cracked up to be, and you kind of got to be structured and smart about your, everything. And I was also influenced in many ways. You know what I mean? I was trying to fit in. I was trying to, be around what I was around and let it be what it was. And no regrets at all, but learned a lot through the process. Some of the best times I've ever had in my life, no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, it's all part of the process for me. Everybody has their own process.
Yeah. As far as like following the music, like so feverishly, 48-hour days. And stuff, like, that's what I'm trying to refer to. Like,
oh yeah.
What part of that? Like,
I was obsessed, bro.
It was just like addicted. When you found it, you were like, "This is it. This is my life."
It's hard, yeah, bro. Like, and it's crazy because at the time I wasn't living with my now wife. I've been with her for 17 years. She stuck with me through all of this. Right. Which
shout out wife.
Oh, she's bro. Come on, she makes me a better man. Straight up. You know what I mean? And it's amazing because she knew what I was doing, but we didn't live together. She wasn't around it. Right. So like she'd go to sleep at night and she didn't, I'd be up. Yeah. I'd be up. And then if I had to be somewhere or do things, I did what I had to do and I was responsible in that regard. But like there was so much about what I was doing that was irresponsible. Right. But I was chasing something.
It's the nature of hip hop, and you're young, and
it's the nature of the game. Yeah. You have to be pretty relentless if you're going to put the time and the energy into being an artist and get out there. And like I was relentless, and then it became a team. Like like Tommy got involved. We created BXXB.
Yeah.
Richie became my hype man. DJ Lil Bruh. I had a manager in 2-6. I had Plan B, who's I mean, one of the best producers I've ever worked with to this day. And it had Dub. I mean, we built a BXXB team that slowly but surely, like as time started to go on, we created a little bit of notoriety.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it was just the work ethic more than anything. I was in your face every single day.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
And then eventually I dropped Pretty Thing, and Pretty Thing kind of like,
blew up.
DJ Drewski dropped it on the Hot 97. Then we did the remix. And that's when
Come out in the late night.
Come on.
Red bottoms always looking right.
Bring me back.
Oh man, listen, that's still a hit to this day.
Come on now.
Yeah, and shout out Jimmy and Damian Anthony who flipped that record and made it crazy. But yeah, and then that's when the deal came through, and at that point I was like, wow, this is my moment.
This is that moment.
This is the moment, and the timing of it, like I was engaged, like I said. And so
Can I pause?
Yeah.
How many years is it at that point where you're looking at that contract and you're saying, "Oh, my life's this is about to be my future."
if you add in the years rapping in Montclair State,
Yeah. What are we looking at?
like 8, 9.
So 9 years.
Yeah, 8 years probably.
Wow.
Yeah, and like relentless.
Yeah, that's right.
Part-time jobs, hustling to make extra money. Like, yeah, I mean, people don't realize I was working jobs. I was hustling to make extra money in any way that I could. And like, I put it all into myself.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't put money away.
Yeah.
I funded my, you know, my career.
Yeah.
I wanted this bad.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean? Travel, whatever it took. You know what I mean? Music videos. We would pool the money together if we had to as a team. Like, it was a lot, you know? And to me, it's what it takes, you know?
Yeah.
But what do you remember with like if you had points? It doesn't sound like you had like points of doubt.
Yeah.
Bro,
Nah.
I've been doubting myself like all those years, man. Like, does that just not come?
I feel like you don't doubt it at all. I feel like
No,
it-
that's not true.
No.
No,
When,
we all
me
doubt.
looking at you, even,
We all
even as a
doubt.
kid, when Robbie come around and stuff,
Yeah.
I'd be like, this kid, nothing bothers you. If he handsome kid, athletic, all that, I'm like this little pudgy thing, and it like I'm looking at him and I'm
It's
like,
true, I was
no,
pudgy.
no,
Bro.
I was.
Well, I was too at the time.
Well,
for a
I know.
minute, bro.
I saw you and I'd be like,
We were pudgy.
just the coolest dude, no
You'd be
worries. Like it just seemed like you didn't let anything bother you or get you. You were just living life.
I do a pretty good job of. I do a really good job. I believe I do a really good job of bottling my stuff and not making anybody else feel it. I don't think it's anybody else's problem. And so if I walk into a room or if I do anything, like, you know, don't get it twisted. Like, I have my nerves. You know, I'm a very confident person. Don't get me wrong, but like, I have my nerves. I have my, you know, my fears. Like, I have a lot of things that everybody else has. Like, I would go on a stage before the stage, my stomach would go like this.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, and I want to be liked. I want to, you know, there's a lot of things that go through your head. And mind you, I was praised almost my entire life until I dropped out of school. Like, I was a good athlete, good student, a lot of friends.
Right.
Like, I didn't get hit over the head until I dropped out of school.
Yeah.
So like, I coasted. So that was the extra battery in my back too, is like, what am I going to like be a failure to everybody that knows I'm not? And so I doubled down into anybody who didn't believe in me. I made them believers in something that they couldn't even make sense of.
Right.
But I knew no matter what I do in life, if I put my heart and soul into it, we're going to figure it out and we're going to get somewhere, and you're going to turn people into believers. And that's just how I operate. But don't get it twisted. I have my fears. All day.
Human.
All day.
Human.
Yeah, bro. I actually went through a heavy stage of anxiety, like massive stage of anxiety, panic attacks, the whole nine. This is post deal falling through.
Okay. Then where are we at with the deal? What's going on here? I don't want to breeze by.
So, you know, it was a good situation. There was a consultant in the deal, Wendy Day, who to this day, she's not somebody you can really get to, but I think she has like a love for me in the situation, and almost like she feels bad that it didn't work out, you know, because I think they all believed in me, but she definitely believed in me. And it was the person more than anything. Like, she knew I was buttoned up, was going to make everybody money. I think that was and it was going to be easy to work with me.
Wow.
You know, that's what I think.
Shout out Wendy, dude.
Yeah. I mean, she's done some monster things in the music industry. So she's the one who called me and broke it to me.
Wow.
And I was literally pulling into the parking lot at work and cried in the parking lot before having to go to work. Facts. Yeah, it was brutal.
Man.
That's the
brutal.
lowest low.
At the time, it was low. At the time, I kind of felt it coming. To go back to why it came,
Yeah.
you know, we had geared up. I had a bunch of music ready to go. And there was a pivot in hip hop. There was a pivot in music where you'd have like the Trippie Reds and the XXXs, right? Whose music I listen to. It's not like I don't listen to it. It's just not who I am.
That's right.
And so it was a little bit of like, can you do this? You know? And I'm 27 at the time. Like and I told him like, I'm not. I could, of course, I can make the music and perform like anybody, but like, it's just not real. I didn't work this hard to not be who I am. You know,
would you say that version of music at the time is that what we're talking about? SoundCloud rapping?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay,
I think that's fair.
I don't want to generalize, but
I think that's fair. I mean, listen, I genuinely listen to all music.
Yeah,
I'm not 100%. Yeah, I'm not like a oh my god. I actually hell no. I look at it like when you're I don't know, when you're in the music industry and you're an artist and you start realizing what things work for people, you start to appreciate what it is they're doing more than it is like the opinion of the music. And if things click to like if I look at an artist and the music and what it is they're doing makes sense, I respect it. I appreciate it. No matter how crazy, whatever the music is, like I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great point. Like I feel like you only feel that if you've created
100%.
And I feel like there's so many people that don't create that it's like it's tough to look at that from the outside.
It's like the critic who hasn't quite done it and rips it apart.
That's anything in life. And that's why there's certain people who talk about certain things, and I wonder in the back of my mind, like, have you even understood? What do you know about
that's
it?
Right.
Like, for you to base an opinion, have you ever experienced it? Like, wouldn't you be better off asking questions and finding out than like acting like from the sidelines you know exactly what this all is? To each their own. No judgment passed, but I would highly recommend that you do your due diligence and at least have some experience before you go and like point a finger at the next person. Like there's so many layers as to why things are the way that they are. Like a young 21-year-old kid who's making music and is partying and having fun and doing what they're doing and it's their moment in time. You can't be a judgmental 40-year-old or 35-year-old or even if it's not your cup of tea. You just can't. There's 8 billion people in the world. Let people cater to whoever it is that finds them to be something that is interesting.
We had that though. I remember, we're coming up on Mac, like the backpack rap, the Wiz Khalifa, that moment in time of music, like
that was kind of my
Logic, things like that. When Dat Piff was huge, and that was big.
I think I still have music on Dat Piff.
Do you really?
I think so. I think Dat Piff shut down actually, but I had it on forever.
Yeah, man.
No, it's up there still.
Is it up there?
Still up there. Yeah.
No, it's
but that was that for me.
Yo,
that
link
was
in the bio. Check out the
link in the bio.
I mean, at this point, I don't care. There's going to be music that comes out down the road. If this ever pops off and becomes what I imagine it can be, they're going to be like, bro, what?
Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
But it's just part of the story.
No, but that was a good point. Like it's their moment in time. It's they're invincible. They're young. This is their sound that they found that they're all enjoying. They're going their energy levels through the roof.
Yeah.
You can't really judge if you're sitting at 35, 40 or whatever, and you're
anybody.
Yeah, man. True. I mean,
and the youth shapes the culture. Like if you're talking about like hip hop, maybe if you're getting into like where I'm at now with this country pop feel and pop music in general, like I guess it shifts a little bit. But even then, I mean. The youth shifts, they control the culture. What's cool, what's not. We did when we were younger. They do now. They did when I was 27, 28. Right. And you kind of, like, I keep my finger on the pulse when it comes to everything that's moving a certain way. Like, and I still don't always figure it out. And I also don't want to come across cheesy. And it's not easy to navigate it, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to still figure out how to get an audience. But I think the best bet is to, no matter what age you are, no matter what it is you're doing, just be yourself. Right. As much as you possibly can. Like as much as you possibly can. It just makes it easier. It makes it so much easier to day in, day out do that versus keep up with whatever fabrication or lies you're, portraying.
It's just expanding useless energy that it's like it's a empty feeling. You're pushing out something that's not you.
Yeah. But with that can come likes and comments and things that keep you in that place. And if it's working, like, that fake it till you make it thing isn't fake. Yeah. It's real.
It's very real.
And it's not even wrong. It's not how I think. At times I might have done it actually, but like to some extent, but like, I don't put it, if you have a plan in place and you're doing what you're doing and it feels good for whatever reason, even if it's not all the way you and it gets you somewhere, as long as at some point you grow up or mature enough to treat it like a profession, like a job, and to understand that what you did was to build up a community you can take that community and spin it a million different ways as long as it's genuine. I think for some people it can be a lot when you're, you know, teenager, early 20s into your 20s, you're doing something, it's working, and then you get older and you know, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Whereas I think if you really are organic, people grow with you. And that's why I think your story is so important. I think like who you are is so important. I think it's okay to go through ups and downs. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to not act like, you know, you're a Superman. Nothing bothers you. Everybody acts tough. Everybody, you know, I don't know. I think vulnerability is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And especially for men who struggle with being vulnerable. So yeah, I don't know.
Bro, I just
on
thought
the
of this.
show.
Heck yeah,
That's
that's
what
exactly
we're
right.
about, baby. That's
I just
what
thought
we're
of this.
about.
Let me run it by you guys.
Run it by.
Fake it till you make it.
Okay.
The difference is once, like, faking something, like, it's a verb, right? Like, you use that to get in the door. You use that to do something. Once you make it a noun and you're a fake, that's the problem.
Oh, that's heavy.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like my food thing. Like I started doing food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's not like I'm an actual cook.
Right.
I make making food entertaining.
Entertaining. Yeah.
And if it got me some notoriety and pushes me to a place and it spins into something, you know, I didn't know that was going to be or is going to be or could be the thing that triggers my whatever. But, you know, fake it till you make it.
And it's just a strategy. It's just like another. You know what? Okay, what is something that I can infuse my music with something that is also already engaging to a public audience, entertainment, right?
I'm just an entertainer, bro.
That's
like,
what it is.
I don't
when you
even
just mesh the two.
The coolest thing about it's a hunt. That's the truth, bro.
Yeah, man.
The coolest thing about doing it the way I'm doing it now, and mind you, the last 6 years was very headsy. Like I'd worked so hard to get to a point, and I did 2 more shows and literally called it quits. I mean, like at the end of the show, went to everybody and was like, I need a break. And I hadn't stopped for the amount of time that we talked about earlier. Like I did not stop for a second. It's like, I need a break. Like I was just drained, bro, like mentally, physically drained.
Yeah.
And I never went back. That's the craziest thing ever is I never went back. I had no plans on not going back to doing music. I had no plans of, you know, for 6 years not being an artist or like sharing my creativity with the world. Like I still did to an extent, but like not passionately, you know what I mean? And it's largely in part because, like I said, I was getting married, bro. I had to figure out stability and like life and all these different things. So I wound up luckily finding a job in the city, ran it up for like a year, dove deep into business ventures with, you know, investors and all these other things, and worked in an independent label, you know, Future Moguls for a little while with my buddy Miles. And from there, from there, I went into, from there I went into, during COVID was an assistant for you know, a gentleman who I got very close with and his family. And then opened up a studio. I mean, there was just like so many things over the last 6 years while having, you know, to try to make ends meet. And throughout that process is when I also created Destination Happiness, which is kind of, it's been like a figuring out as to how we want to approach all of it. But we've had some really awesome moments, and pretty much is the embodiment of everything that I'm talking about. Like all I ever wanted was to be happy. Yeah. Like out of all of it. So
it's in those 6 years, bro, because you said heady, like you were talking about all these things, like getting engaged to your wife, your to-be wife, and like taking the time to say, I'm physically stepping away from this. Like, how? I'm trying to find a way to word this that's not like judgmental or whatever, but because personally, like, you know, when I shifted from like, okay, I'm just going to grind and audition for everything, and I'm just going to, you know, write shit every week and just going to push it, even if it's not true to me, even if I'm not right for the thing, even if I don't like the script, I'm just going to, because I just want to make it. That was my goal, right? Yeah. I just want to make it so that people love me. That was my like personal, you know, what you call what you want. That was my desire. I felt like I didn't have enough, and I just used acting and performing and writing, producing stuff as like, well, that'll get me the attention that I'm seeking. Creatively too, it was something I could use to flesh out my creativity. But when I made the pivot of like, you know, trying to tell story to be something that helps others, not just a self-serving tool, like stories helped me in the past, you know, maybe the attention stopped. I mean, the bottom dropped out for me in COVID. There was no, I couldn't audition for shit. There was no choice. I couldn't just run back to my little like pursuit, my big pursuit, my only thing. And then what's left in the room of me is like my wife, you know, who was my fiance or no, we were married at the time, sitting there and I'm like, oh, I got to work on this relationship a bit because I've been so, you know, dead set on my thing. This step away is like the thing I needed most in my life that I didn't realize I needed.
Yeah.
There was no conscious like, I'm going to step away. But boy, like when the phone stopped ringing, when people stopped hitting me up for scripts or to go be in their thing and rehearse and all this stuff, I felt like nothing. I felt like garbage. That was my identity.
Yeah.
You know?
You think it's your identity.
Well, that's what I felt. Yeah, man. And then just to realize like, you know, yeah, it's not what comes first. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, acting is something that I do, that I enjoy doing, performing. Yeah. That makes me feel alive. I feel like I am of service of something greater than me and it fulfills me. But for you, man, like in that moment of that hiatus, like, did you struggle? You said it was a heady process. Like, and what did you find in those 6 years that you couldn't have found when you were grinding 48-hour days, studio time, or was it all the same? Did you just feel like this was a constant growth and, you know, there was no major shifts?
What did I find? I mean, I want to say I found myself. I'm still finding myself. But I got closer to finding myself. Like I certainly made some significant strides as a man. You know, there's a part of what that all was for a long time that I miss. And I think the why is because I didn't think a lot. Like I didn't have to overthink too much. I kind of just reacted and did things. And there's a freedom about that I do miss. A lot less responsibilities, you know, things, there were responsibilities, but not as responsible as like your career, making money, your family, you know? And so it's an interesting, I think that's part of the anxiety was like pivoting into this other side of me, you know, that I had to really learn. Like it was always there. It always poked out, but now it took the forefront versus the other way around, right? You know? And, yeah, dude, I went through some pretty serious anxiety, bro, like major panic attacks, dude. And it was triggered by a lot of different things. I mean, you know, like I said, I partied, I had a lot of fun and that didn't help. You know, it was a lot, dude. It was a lot. Like the last 6 years, it seems like it went so fast, but it was a lot, dude. Like it was a lot. It almost feels longer than the first 20 something years of my life. Wow. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot, dude. Especially because, you know, you're going through the process and you know, I always bring my all to things. And so now I'm entering new fields. I'm entering new business ventures. I'm entering this whole other space outside of artistry. Yeah. And had to learn that I'm good at that too. Right. Where I was very uncomfortable going through the process and like, am I handling this correctly? You know, through it all, I think I realized more than anything over the last 6 years was like, what you're capable of, you have to realize what you're capable of, man. Like, the things that I've gotten are because of me. Like me as a person, the talent and all these other things. And, you know, they're bonuses, bro. Like they're bonuses, they're kickers. They're like, there's certain people that are going to see that and say, how can I capitalize on it? But why people really want to work with me, I feel, is because I'm genuine. I do good business. If I ever don't for any reason or mess up, like I hold myself accountable, you know. I do everything I can not to burn bridges. It's not worth it to me to burn a bridge. You know, I'm not too prideful to, you know, for one, admit that I'm wrong, but also, you know, say it's okay to somebody if they mess up. Like, I don't like to hold something over somebody, and it's not easy. You know, I have my feelings on people and things and all these, but I try to do as good as I possibly can in regards to being a good person. You know what I mean? Like I try, and we all battle, bro. Like we all battle. It's not easy, you know, but I try, and I think that people feel that I try, and I think that excites people, you know, because I think it's a breath of fresh air in a world full of not that, you know.
Definitely.
So I learned over the years that like no matter what I do, I can inject myself in almost anything, and even if I know nothing about it, I feel like people will want to be around my energy, you know, and that I think is my superpower.
Right on.
You know, I think that's my thing.
The energy's everything.
Yeah, it's a big point.
Yeah, and going back to like what I always knew about myself, even on a football field, because you mentioned like on a football field or music and performing and all these different things. Like you walk in a room and you don't make people feel your thing or your negativity, and you can, no matter what's going on, just be, you know, as positive as you can be. Like, you know, my shit isn't your shit, you know? So like to make you feel that when you didn't ask for it, to me is like, I don't know, man. I think it's a chink in everybody's armor. I just do. And I don't think people even recognize or see it. But I do. I very much so pay attention to it. And I also know that my naturalness isn't that. Like my naturalness is to, you know, if I'm going to make a decision to go and see you guys today, or if I'm going to make a decision to go out, or if I'm going to make a decision to go to dinner or whatever, like I'm not bringing my bullshit with me.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Your baggage stays at the room.
It's nobody's business.
Yeah.
You know, it's nobody's business, and they don't deserve to feel it. They don't deserve to feel that.
Does that get you in hot water ever? That way of withholding everything that you may be going through?
Hot water in what way?
My mind goes
To people?
No, your
Personally?
your personal life. Yeah, we don't have to get. Into
I'll tell you what it does do is, you know, because I think you said like, oh, I'm always good. Like, yo, he's always
right?
like that holds weight. What you just said, like, you know, what I'll say is I'm human. As much of a good energy as I bring, and like it is who I am. It's genuinely who I am. Trust me, when I lay my head down at night, I struggle. You know, trust me, I go through battles. Trust me, I've gone through addictions. I've gone through vices. I've gone through a million different things that people probably don't even know about, that, you know, I was dealing with, that I've had to overcome, you know, and do everything I can to beat it, for one, or what's the word? You know, tackle it in some regard, like overcome, like whatever it may be. Like I have those things, bro. We all do. All of us. Yeah. And I just choose not to make anybody, and I don't think I make a conscious decision not to. Right. I think it's pretty natural. Right. Yeah. But I'm saying it's how I operate.
Yeah.
It's who I am, you know? Yeah. But trust me, bro. I have been through really heady shit. Yeah. You know, like really, before my son, I was honestly in a very vulnerable space mentally. Wow. Yeah. Like very interesting. He gave me a boatload of purpose. I found purpose again. Dude. Yeah. I found purpose.
That's such a beautiful thing.
I felt purpose, like genuine, real, not forced purpose. Yeah.
What is that? That
unexplainable.
You can't even put words to it.
If I'm going to put words to it, it's what real love feels like. It's what real, it's the most real feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. Like I didn't even feel it for the 9 months of my wife's pregnancy. You know, like you're just a support system. Yeah. And honestly, again, as a man, I feel like that's an honest thing to say. Yeah. It's like, we're not carrying the baby. We're not growing the baby. Your support system. While as a man trying to figure out how to make all this work when the time comes. Whew. So it's a lot. Whew. But when he came out, when I saw him, the rush that I felt, bro, like I ran around and thanked all the nurses. Like I didn't even know how to feel. Yeah, bro. I've never been so happy. And
Oh my God.
yeah, bro. I've never been so, and I don't know if this is the feeling for everybody. And I think, I would hope it is.
Yeah.
Because they're so vulnerable. They need you, I understand life. I understand circumstances. I do think when push comes to shove, though, don't bring somebody into this world if you're not prepared to. I think it's very selfish in many ways to not put the energy into it. For me, it was very natural. And again, I understand circumstance. I think this is a very deep conversation and something deeper than, we have to go into.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know for me, it was just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It was like the most obvious thing ever was to just nurture this kid and like I had life again, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's actually he's part me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so dope.
I got
bro.
chills, man.
It's so dope. It's the dopest thing
Wow.
ever.
Wow.
I love that kid, bro. I love that kid so much.
Man, when I think about that, I the first reaction I have, because when I see a kid now, I'm like, man, I'm called to be. I feel so called to be a father. But then there's a part of me that has this immense fear of like
course, bro.
not being good enough, whatever. You know what I mean?
I think that's part of what I'm saying.
Yeah,
When it happens, for me,
yeah,
it all of that shed. You like, I remember my wife talking about, like she's more practical. Like she's very structured and also very prepared to make sure things go and we're set up a certain way, which is a great balance because I am like wheeling and dealing.
1 moment at a time.
Yeah, I don't really, I'd be in a van. I tell all the time, like, if I wasn't with you, I'd be in a van traveling across the country. Nobody would see me. And I would just be podcasting or making music and sharing it with them. I don't think about.
I'm the same.
Yeah,
way,
I just
dude.
don't think about
The
it.
same way.
If I choose to live under a certain construct of societal
Right.
whatever, then
Right.
yeah, I have to think about it. But like, it's just not my natural thinking. And she wants to make sure we have a lot for him. And I remember saying to her, I'm like, I don't think it matters. Like, if he feels loved, what does it matter?
That's true.
Like, what does it matter where we live?
Yeah.
What does it matter what we do or don't have? Like, it's almost on us to make sure he doesn't feel that we do or that we don't have.
That's right.
Or that he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I that's all he's going to know.
That's right.
If
That's right.
for whether it's love or fear, or this and that, like, it's really on you as parents, I feel like, to, shape them in a way where they see the world positively.
And do you see that on your boy now?
Oh
bro?
my God, bro.
Dude, he gets up. He's
Yeah,
just
dude.
like,
The kid, he's such a happy kid, man. He's such a happy kid. He has his, he's of
course.
kid, bro.
Of
He has his moments. Don't get me wrong. He ain't perfect. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
he's happy, bro. Like, he's happy. He gives everybody hugs and kisses when he walks around and sees people he doesn't know. Hi, what's your name? Like, hi, what's your name? Like, I think that is so dope. Where the next person might say, like, you got to watch out with the world and with people, and you never know. Like, I'm here to protect them.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's my job. Yeah.
Like, what do we don't.
Yeah.
I want him to be a people person.
That's right. That's right.
I want him to feel like he can navigate this, and then he's going to go through his own stuff.
That's right.
And he's going to think otherwise.
We all
and I'm going to reiterate that you're going to be all right.
That's right.
That's
right.
Nah, like he needs love, bro. Love.
Yeah, man.
It's the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah, man.
Love.
Amen. Amen.
Facts.
Come
That was
on,
one of the
dog.
best ways I think I've heard it like being said.
Fatherhood, man. Yeah.
'Cause, dude, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. There's like personal people I know that have had a kid, and it's like, for me, it's like I don't understand how any like thing that can happen. You're any like bad. You wake up one day feeling bad. Like, I don't know how you can manage to put that on your kid.
I don't think you do it on purpose. I think that's the
Yes,
scary part.
but like a recurring, like, I don't understand how there's like terrible. And I'm talking like terrible people. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Talking about the
Makes
worst of the
sense,
worst.
like,
yeah, I got
well,
you. I got you.
It doesn't make
There
sense. to me,
are.
man.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be
In all
parents
things.
or whatever. I mean, and again, I think it's part of why I'm going to keep saying it, like, why I feel the importance of moving around and being a light, regardless of how dark it can be for me personally,
That's right.
because you don't know what you can do to spark something in somebody. You know what I mean? Like
That's
you have
the
no
objective
clue.
of the artist, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Like you never know, bro. Like when I run down the street, for instance, because I do a lot of running, you know, I didn't for 9 months. I'm back now. But you know, like I say hello to people as I go by.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's funny because I'll see certain people be, hey, and I'll see certain people be like,
yeah.
I
All good though.
No, you need to work on that.
See, this is where I struggle a bit, but I love this, dude. Like, it costs a candle nothing to light another, right? It doesn't cost you anything.
nothing.
To do that for another person. But even a little thing like that, a hello, a wave, or whatever, we don't know what the other person is going through, right? And so our right minds, it's like, that is such a small gesture, but you don't know how immense that could affect someone's life. How alone somebody
What
is.
if they were having the worst day ever?
That's what I mean.
Like,
what if that reminds them? What if they believe in like, this is crazy. This is to the 10th degree, but like, oh, God is real, man. Because I was asking to show me a sign, and then this young man ran by and waved at me, dude.
Yeah.
And that gave me like a purpose,
Yeah.
So I think those small gestures are huge, and I got to work on myself when someone's like, "Go F yourself." That's when I kind of irate in my mind, and then my behavior's not so great after. But
When you're unfazed by certain things.
see, that's where I'm after.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Man, I've had significant rage inside of me because of the way people have handled me and lied and this, that, and the third, and like, again, I've done things too that aren't perfect. I'm not like the saint that, it's definitely not the case. But I think one of the things that I've recognized over the years is when somebody gets, and I'm a, my friends would be like, because I'll fight, like I'll fight, not always physically, but like mentally. Yeah,
bro, come on, now.
You've been boxing, bro.
Yeah, come on.
Listen, I got
no, I know,
I'm nice
I know
with
you
it,
can.
but
I
just don't box. I haven't boxed. My buddy Julian wants to get me in, so maybe soon.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm a debater. Like I'm usually not the person that I try not to start problems.
Right.
I don't want to start an argument. I'll share an opinion, and if I feel attacked or if people are coming at me, I'll go in. And I'll go into deep debate, and I'll get after it.
You with your wife? Do you have major debates
No,
about things?
it's one of the most amazing things about my wife. No, one of the most amazing things about my wife. 17 years, never heard her yell.
Wow.
Ever.
Whoa.
Oh my.
Her raising a voice is like how I'm talking to you right now.
Wow.
Never. She has this thing, and it can frustrate me, don't get me wrong, but it's also taught me a lot about myself and approaching things, whether it be her or whoever in general, is, so let's say she has an issue with something that I've got going on or that I've done, I'll defend myself to some capacity, right? I usually will own up to it. Like I try my best to own up to it. We all get in defense mode to some extent, right? But like I try my best to own up to it. And then if I start, defending myself and saying certain things, she shuts down. So her way of going about it is to process everything that's happening. Whereas whether it be my friends, her, whoever, like if you're going to feel how you feel and I'm going to feel how I feel, then we're walking out of here with like a common ground.
Yeah.
Like we're finding the common ground.
We don't leave this room till we got it.
And most people either spin it and go harder at you or they shut down. And I've over the years have not done well with that, because then I feel like eventually I carry on. Then I look crazy. I look like the asshole. I don't think I am, but maybe I should have knew when to kind of draw back, and she's taught me a lot about that, like where, say your piece. Not everybody's going to react the same way.
That's right.
And if you're right, or it's true, or it's truthful, or whatever it may be, they know.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
Let them walk away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let them go through their process.
Right.
As opposed to giving them something to use against you, which is your attitude, your anger, your words, like if you go down that path, what's crazy is you eliminated the gist of the conversation by giving them ammunition to be like, yo, we talked about this, but he's fucking crazy, bro. He was talking about like and I just gave him all the ammunition. Now the thing that we were talking about didn't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Even if I was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Dude, I used to
Do it to myself.
I used to bounce my thing was like, I couldn't, if I felt like I was right about something with my wife, if I felt like I was right about something in our relationship and I thought she was way off, which I've been way off, she's been way off. She admits it, I admit it. But I was the same kind of way where in this way where I wouldn't be able to stop the conversation until we were both on the same page.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like shut up about it.
Yeah.
I would raise my voice. I'd get real loud. I'd get real animated. And she'd be sitting there like, I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing and I'm observing it like this and it's making me feel this. Like a human being trying to communicate their feelings. For some reason, bro, the wall would come down and I'd just be like, man, fuck it. And I'd grab my keys and I'd bounce. Right? And I remember, my therapist kind of walked me through it a bunch, but, you could find a new way of communicating. You don't have to do it the way that feels right to you in the moment. So maybe, how about this? Let's look at it as like, your instinct is to go. Why not communicate to her that, hey, I feel like something's coming up in me. Can we take like 5? I'll come back and then we'll do this again.
I think that's a great approach.
Dude, it's the best.
I think it's a great approach.
And it really changed the way we talk to each other.
Yeah,
where I don't even do it anymore because I'm finding better ways to communicate.
Yeah,
but
dude.
in that moment of like, I didn't know how to talk any other way, really. And my instinct was telling me like, no, we can't. Or if we do, an emotion's too big, I'm out of here. I'm going to take 5. I'm going to drive around the block like a crazy person, hitting my fucking steering wheel.
Oh.
And then pull back in and say, you're a psychopath. And now the feelings are out.
Like, I think she's right.
Yeah, and she's actually kind of fucking right, dude. And she's right.
It's scary, bro. We can be scary.
Yeah, man.
We can be scary.
But
People are stubborn, bro.
no, but I mean, it's cool to be someone who's married as well. You gain so much from the person who knows you most.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
If you're open to it.
Yeah. I think you gain a lot from everybody who knows you, whether it be the most or in any way.
I mean,
like
true,
there's
too.
things that my friends, there's a side of myself that my friends see that maybe my wife has
That's
at
true.
moments.
That's true.
Because that's not, it's just, like crazy. I had this, you guys will appreciate this. I had this crazy idea. We talked about it with another couple. We were like, social experiment. 2 couples, they're all friends, live in a house. And
This is Netflix calling already.
no,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
And the two guys live in one floor and the girls live in another. And then at the night, you go and you stay with your significant other. You can cross paths or whatever. But if the guy spent the time during the day with the guy and the girl spent their time during the day with the girl, there's a huge part of me is like, we might all get along. I might be, because there's things that as a guy, we're going to, we could just put our feet up or whatever.
100%.
Not to be like, the coffee table. I'm like, I don't fucking think about it's fucking furniture. But I understand how I'm going outside of my natural animalistic.
That's right, dude. That's right.
It could be a very interesting approach. Like, would life be happier if you're married to somebody?
Man, come on.
But you live with your homie and the girl lives with her girlfriend.
Dude.
More time. Interesting.
That's
why no Diddy, but
That's a utopia.
if I was gay, man, me and Mike we'd be linking up.
Yeah. Well, no, I think,
Right, dude?
Yeah.
Hey, no, and we just be kicking it, potting, and then end of day we're hooking up.
Listen.
Right?
At the end of the day,
My
you're
dog,
hooking
dude.
up.
My dog, dude.
Oh boy.
No Diddy, right?
Left
So it's
turn.
good.
That was a little ditty. That was a little ditty.
And
I gotta spice it
and
up
that's
a
him.
little bit, right?
I'm
Once
starting
in
to
a
sweat a
while,
little
we
bit,
gotta
bro.
throw it in there a little. Anything's possible, man.
I do think when it comes down to it, like guys just understand guys differently. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
This guy. For sure.
I'm not attracted to guys, but they're who they are as like a kick in it and blah 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 and who they are as people. Hell yeah, I'm attracted to that,
It
bro.
just makes sense.
Yeah, but I think we're just built different. Men and women are just built different.
A different wiring
Totally
of our
different
brains,
wiring,
man. Different wirings
Yeah.
of our brains.
Totally
dude.
different wiring.
They just they process things in such a way. It's. I think I'm a deep thinker in a lot of ways, but man, I feel like my wife's. She's never not thinking of something. I feel like analytical going on around her, or 2 steps away.
Yeah.
She's like we're sitting there watching TV, and it's like. I'm watching. I know I'm watching the show. I'm engaged in the show.
Yeah.
But I know I can feel that she's in the midst of something else, and it happens more times than it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just there's something about I think, and maybe it's just my wife, but the way she's wired, It's there's so many pathways.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas mine is like, it's this and what's in front of me, maybe a second
Bro,
thought.
I don't know. I feel like we are very simple.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
simple, man.
I really do believe that.
Yeah, dude.
I to my core am confident when I say that we are very simple
Yeah,
creatures.
dude. If we have an issue, I've squashed many issues with people I've had problems, guys, very quickly, man. Sometimes it's gotten out of hand and it's taken a little bit longer, but like, and man, I've seen it the other way where it's like, this girl did this thing to me so long ago,
Yeah.
and it's like nothing's been processed. Too many like landmines are laying around there still, and like
They're very analytical. They dive deep. They're emotional.
I'm gonna
Like,
get canceled for this conversation.
Listen, I teeter towards the more emotional man.
Me
like
too.
I am
Me
definitely
too.
more on that side
Come on
than
now.
your average. So like I can certainly tap in and like get into my feminine side, as they say. You know what I mean? Like there's a part of me that certainly can tap into it. It's who I am.
Yeah.
But day to day, I just don't think about the things that you think about.
Yeah.
You know, like for better or worse. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why she's so good for me, is because it shows me this other side of a person. Forget gender and all, like a person, you know. It shows me another side of a person that is good to retain, kind of understand, and in some capacity incorporate in your day to day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, she makes me a better man in a million ways. I'd probably look like Machine Gun Kelly and be traveling across the country. I'm pretty sure I'd be tatted up to my earlobes,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And because I think that's,
I'd have a motorcycle for sure.
I would, I don't know.
I'd be cruising out Route 66.
I don't know if I'd be here, bro.
No,
Like,
100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
100%.
I don't know. And I don't know if that's the wrong way to live either. That's the crazy thing, is like,
There's no right or wrong in that.
Yeah, no.
you know,
Definitely not.
live it to the fullest or,
Yeah,
Dope,
man.
but pretty
Just
sick.
bar to bar,
Li-
bro. That's where I'd be.
yeah. Oh, God.
what I mean?
I would try not to be, but
Yeah.
No, I mean, if I'm being honest, that's where I'd be, man.
You'd be an alcoholic.
Oh, 100%.
you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genetic, it's just,
Party.
yeah. Yeah, and, I don't know why you brought that up, right?
What?
It's a wild
No,
thing
that's
to bring
fair.
that up.
No, it's fair.
Here's the thing, Robbie.
It's very fair.
It's such
Very-
a weird
You
turn.
want to know what?
No, such
no,
a
it's
weird
very
turn.
fair.
No, you want to know what Dave told me one time? He's like, dude, I feel like I just gotta start drinking.
No, you know what? No, you're gonna.
I was like-
you're gonna understand.
I was like,
this.
what do you
Okay.
mean?
Robbie, you're gonna get this.
Okay.
End of day, long day. You're doing stuff you don't want to do all day. You have these stresses, these bills, little things. I just started having the desire, like, man, I want to start cracking something open at the end of the day, man,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to do that every day, just to like vibe out.
You can.
No, 100%. But then he's like, that's alcohol, and I'm like, that is alcohol.
Depends how it goes.
Right.
Are you gonna have
But what's
Are
better
you
than
gonna have
having
a beer?
what's better than
Are
having
you
a-
gonna have a beer?
I think I would. But then you lose that.
I'll
That's
tell you, I
exactly
drink
why
a beer
said
in
it.
4 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
whoop.
I don't know if I'm gonna have one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to
That's
look
the
at the
problem.
fridge and be like,
But what's better than that
better have
feeling? That's what I want to,
what's better than that feeling?
brother.
I think everybody has their own thing.
No. But and I'm not a father. I love I'm not saying this is the greatest feeling in the world, but bro,
It's a feeling.
you could taste that every day.
It's a feeling.
You could buzz up with your homie or something or your wife and just laugh.
Oh, it's a feeling.
dude. I'm very careful about everything. I never indulge.
Exactly.
If you're doing it by yourself,
That's dangerous.
I think that's a danger.
Yeah.
I'm a social drinker.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I like to
same,
have a
same.
beer at the end of the night. Like don't get me wrong, I certainly do. I think I've realized that it's kind of a waste too. Like I didn't really get it. Like I think I told myself I wanted a
Yeah.
beer or two, and then I'm like over the weekend I'm like, I could have had a 6-pack and I got
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
none of
what were those beer nights for? You know.
To watch a game. Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah, man.
Well, if I'm watching the game,
You're
I'm probably
cracking something open.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a 12-pack
Yeah, man.
and have some fun. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I it's a slippery slope.
I got you.
I just felt it because you've never said it before, and you were like, yeah, I was just thinking one day.
yeah,
It's like
it was.
that's not good.
No, but I'm very honest, man. You got to.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's fair to share your
Yeah,
thoughts. I think it's
very honest.
yeah,
And I was sharing
And-
that with my boy.
I am too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's dope to share that.
No, I have to.
Yeah,
I know people. I've been in rooms.
I've seen you
I know
drunk.
shit. You've seen me drunk. Yeah.
Dave,
I can actually see it now.
I almost lost you, dude.
No, yeah, you did. For
You
a
wandered.
second.
Dave's a
yeah,
wanderer.
I wandered.
You know?
Oh, yeah?
I talked to everyone.
You'll wonder like,
Yeah, but the thing is, I've noticed I don't want the shit to end, so I'm gonna chase it.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like
I know
chase.
that feeling,
Yeah,
bro.
that's the fucking slippery slope.
That was my slippery slope. So I know that
you.
feeling
Yeah,
very
man.
well. I know that feeling very well.
That's what scares me. But I think what I noticed, bro, like, okay, I got you here, Robbie. You know, you got your wife. You've been with a very successful relationship, man. I got my wife, and I've given him my opinions on finding a partner. What are your opinions for Mikey, bro? What should he
Don't
be on the
force it.
lookout for? Okay.
How and you're at a point now where you shouldn't force it. No, bro. Like
No, listen to him.
you're not testing. Yeah, I mean, you could force trying. You could force seeing.
And you force it
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. You can certainly
You have a history of forcing it. Okay. Right? Is that fair to say?
forcing yourself into.
What does that mean? I don't like that term.
A thing is kind of
Forcing
it's the tethers are coming off, like it's starting to deteriorate a bit, and you're like, I'm gonna make this work. I'm not getting one from what I need from her. I'm not expressing it right, but I'm gonna make it happen. That's my
Do you get like do you fall easily? Like do you fall easily?
I trip, dude.
You
Head
trip.
Trip
first,
up.
right?
I think I trip up. Yeah.
You go head like a little head over heels, like you're
I
kind
think
of
so.
excited
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it and
Romantic.
whatever.
I always thought I'm like, oh, it's 100% or nothing.
He's all in or it's nothing.
But
Timing for that is everything.
Yes. Which
You could scare a lot of people off.
it'll be 10 years before I find it.
No. Is there room for I can feel lukewarm about another human being?
That's
and
the thing
can
I have.
grow?
That's the thing I'm like slowly. It's coming from like it had to be 100% to. It's coming down to like 90% now.
Yeah.
You know,
To
it's
be
like
fair,
it's
man.
gotta be this thing that I feel 100%. Because if I don't feel it more than like
98.5%.
yeah, then I'm like, bro, I'm like I have a good time, but I'm like, oh, but then like I know how this ends because it's happened.
Yeah.
Like
You're alone on
been
Tinder.
a couple.
again.
Okay,
You're,
so
saying you're doing this.
you're skipping around, but yeah,
Yeah, but that
pretty much.
but that is kind of the dating scene now.
yeah.
You know, we don't know it. I've
I hate
thankfully never had to do this.
Me
ever.
neither.
it's-
never.
Yeah, I'm
Very happy about
I'm trying to
about that.
not talk like crap about it.
Yeah.
I think it's not a terrible.
No, I don't
thing.
think so.
I think it's good because you're able to go out more, but it does like water down the connection for me. For someone that is so
Yeah.
about the connection,
Yeah.
it waters down that piece kind of.
Yeah, no, I could feel
Because
that.
then I'm like, oh, they're going on dates. I know that dudes are swiping, just not even looking. You know what I mean?
seen
So
it.
They
They
were
were
just
the
swiping
amount
more
of, like-
times than not for
exactly.
one reason.
Yeah.
yeah,
man.
and there's-
Simple. We're simple.
And I know there's
Kind of all we want.
and I know,
I mean,
there's like
I'm happy.
Yeah,
This way.
man.
there's way handsomer dudes. That's when I start thinking, I'm like, oh man, like
now you're
I'm nothing,
comparing
dude.
yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're looking
Yeah.
at your pictures.
I think you need to be
yeah,
like, don't force
yeah,
it.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, like don't. I'm not like. Do you want to be in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So keep that in the back of your mind and
Keep it real with them,
Yeah,
man.
and
Keep it real.
Yeah, and no, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
Certainly don't fall head over heels in the moment.
Yeah.
Don't buy into all the BS. You definitely are going to need some time to get yourself into a space where this is like somebody I want to date, let alone be with for the rest of my life. So you jump into it too quick and you go too crazy, you're going to scare them off.
Yeah.
That's a fact, right? That's 100% a fact.
Yeah.
And girls don't want that. Girls like assholes.
Yeah.
Girls like almost the chase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you don't want to be the guy who's like, baby, and like calling and texting and
Yeah.
you don't want to do that.
I've been I used to fall into that.
Mm-hmm.
I never really I don't think I ever like really scared people off by being so. I think like I don't voice that like you never just tell somebody like, oh, I fucking love you, man. Like you go all in like that. Mine is more like I'm like, holy shit, I like this girl,
Whoa,
but like
dude.
I'll keep it back.
Yeah,
know what
you
I mean?
have to.
Yeah.
And like I used to get caught in like just relationships that ended up I'm like, oh, like but I fell head over heels, so I have to make it work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that was my problem, right? And that just kept wasting time and like I'm just not in the right spot. But now I'm like I'm at that point. Yeah, I'm not falling head over heels, but I'm dialing back. But like I haven't found like now my problem is I'm dialed back and like you do a couple dates and I'm like I'm not feeling that thing. Like I'm not feeling the like
thing.
the spark, the thing. Like I want to for sure be in this. Like with this person, try it for real. I haven't found that in like since like 5-6 years ago. I've had an actual long-term relationship. You know,
Are you feeling that way because it doesn't feel like that relationship?
maybe, but that relationship was not the greatest. So
But whatever it was,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I think
maybe. Yeah, I think you're onto something
I
there.
think it holds some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
very fair to.
just-
I don't think it's wrong of you. I think
It's weird.
I think it's just.
But that's the thing. I think, like you said, like they don't force something to happen. So like I
don't
keep
force
telling myself, I'm like, yeah, don't force anything. Don't
Yeah.
force anything. But like happening like for years, and I'm like, all right, maybe I should just try something.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I'm
Yeah.
settling, and everyone tells me don't settle for something. So
Well, you know, this is going to be a heavy thing to say.
Yeah, say it,
because
dude.
a lot of
I need
people,
it.
a lot of people are going to sit here if they hear this and they're going to say,
mm,
"No, not me. I found mine." Like whatever. I don't think you can ever find your like soulmate. 8 billion people in the world. You're going to sit here and tell me that like you're going to find the one. Like really think about it.
Yes,
So
man.
there is, no matter what, some sort of settling for what makes you better, right? Like I've learned over the years with my wife, like I questioned a lot of things. I was also not the best to her early on in our relationship. We went through a lot, you know what I mean? So, you know, there was definitely times where I was either tempted or, you know, thought that there was something else or whatever it may be, or overlooked how good of a person she is. And like now I look back and I'm like, God, like I have a catch, like a complete catch, like 100%. But like, of course, there's still certain things that we disagree with, or that, you know, I wish you were like that or whatever. So like, if you really think about it, you're never really it's not gonna be across the board checking off all boxes.
Everything's perfect.
That ain't a relationship. The best part about a relationship, in my opinion, is the disagreements and the growing from it and the understanding
That's right.
and developing together. And especially as parents, you know, if you're going to go, when you eventually go that route, you want to be compatible parents. It's about parenting. Like when we had Maddox, it really took a 180 and it went 180 and it was like, it's him. This is about him, you know? And then through the process over the last 2.5 years, it's kind of like you start dialing back and be like, well, we also can't forget about us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because I think it's natural to do so.
Right.
Go deep in. So you don't look for it's supposed to be this way. I think that the thing that might there's going to be something that comes across that throws you for a loop, and you should pay attention to it, you know, and almost entertain it as opposed to dialing into like what you're familiar with or expecting or want, because maybe something new could actually be the thing you need. You don't know that.
You are here, podcast, realest podcast in the game. Robbie, you ever thought you were going to be talking dating advice and shit today?
But I do get talked. I get asked a lot of questions behind closed doors by people. Yeah, because people that know me, like they come to me for advice.
Yeah.
They want my opinion, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what was going to come.
No,
but
just
this
again,
is cool.
just look into a camera and just let them know.
100%.
Realest podcast in the
Realest
game.
podcast in the game, dude. Real podcast
never
in the
know
game.
what you're-
Thank you for that.
It's happening.
I want to bring it back to you now.
All right.
Yeah.
You got your advice,
Thank you.
and we're gonna. Is it
Appreciate
okay?
it.
If
Yes,
we bring it back
go
to
ahead, please.
my boy, Cuzzo?
Proceed.
We're on Set Me Free right now.
Oh, yeah.
Summer has Set Me Free, dude.
Yeah, dude.
So we're in the
Crazy.
6-year process now. We're getting back into telling the story. Was there a moment where you were like, I just sat down, I started writing the song? Was there like conception, like moment?
Yeah.
You remember it?
Yeah, there was. So over the last 6 years, I made a ton of different music. I actually started to release music as with a couple guys, and we called ourselves Call You Tomorrow. My buddy Drum, who's like one of the best drummers, he's fantastic. My buddy Kyle, and I was working with my buddy Steve Kellner, and we were making like indie rock music, and it was very different for what I was doing, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But the idea was like we were going to do it together.
Okay.
And it ultimately just wasn't possible. We have so much different, like our lives are different. We're not like young kids being able to be around each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was the one that was really, really passionate about it, trying to make it work. And ultimately it just kind of didn't make sense. So I dialed back, removed some of the music. You know, we did share it. But yeah, for the last 6 years, like I made a ton of music and nothing really felt like I want to release this. Like I want to put it out.
Yeah.
I didn't even expect to put out music yet. I didn't. It just kind of happened organically. Like I wrote the song at home. Shout out to Caleb Avery, producer on YouTube. I found he produced the record. I thought it was dope. I just thought it was dope. And I write all the time. Like I just pull stuff up on YouTube, or people will send me beats, or like be in a studio we write, whatever. And I wrote it. And I kind of knew it was something, like I knew it was dope, for sure. I didn't know at the time if it was like doper than other things I've made, but it was interesting. And I've had over the years, even when I was doing like my hip hop stuff, like, yo, you the country world, like that little country pop world, you'd do really well in, because I have like a twang to my voice already to a degree. And I think I could pass for it, I guess, you know. So I think even in the hip hop world, they would tell me like, yo, country boy, you know what I mean? It was always that thing, whatever. So yeah, I wrote the record, and then I went and cut it. And when I cut it, I actually will never forget, dude. Shout out to my buddy Dan, man. He's part of Destination Happiness. He's been somebody I work with very closely nowadays. Owner of 1950 Originals in Westwood. So he owns a hot dog spot in Westwood.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of plans. I won't say too much.
Shout out.
Follow 1950 Originals. So Dan and I have gotten very close over the last 6 to 7 months. And he's got an office over in Westwood. He knows I do music, and, you know, I was part of when I played him music, he was like, "Dad, I didn't know you were that versatile in music." This is when we first linked back up. Because I've known him for years, but we never really sat down and talked.
Yeah.
So this night, I cut the record. I go back to Dan. I happen to go to the office, and I'm like, "Bro, I got one. I think I got one. I think this is a really, really good record, bro." And I play it, and he was like, "Dog, like this is a vibe. This is like I'm performing, I'm playing it back. I'm like," and I know when I get passionate about something like that, that's kind of the early stages of like, all right, we're on it, you know. And I've had the feeling over the last 6 years in moments, but like this one felt a little different. And I think part of it is also as a 35-year-old dad and husband, and just where I'm at in my life, the sound of the song and the sonic of, like it just felt cool.
Yes.
It felt right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And yeah, so then I go to the studio, back to the studio. Actually, you know what? I don't forget if Nate was at the original session or if he came to a follow-up session. I actually forget. But either way, Nate was at the studio. He wound up, I cut the record with Nate there.
Wow.
Yes, I cut the record with Nate there and played the whole thing for Dan, 100%. Because I cut my verse, and by the time I cut my verse and cut the chorus, recorded it, Nate already had a verse ready to go.
Wow.
And he's singing it. Now, Nate Willett.
You've been rocking with Nate for
yeah, bro. Nate is like one of the most talented, young, creative songwriter. Bro, he's a wildly talented singer-songwriter, really, really talented. And it's dope because he's around a lot of really good people right now who are making him even better. Mm-hmm. But when I met him at 17, I couldn't believe the voice. And then I started to see that he can write. And then things kind of slowly but surely became like, yo, this kid he's dope. Yeah. He's still figuring a lot of things out in general. I mean, that's kind of the holdup with the music. And I think it's a good thing ultimately. But man, that kid is talented, bro. So like, he doesn't even sing the way you hear him on the song. Yeah. He was a country record. Yeah. And then he cuts it like with the country twang. And I said, I don't care what you say. You're not recutting it. It just feels good. Yeah. Like, I don't want to, who cares, bro? Yeah. Like, who cares? Yeah, like, at one point he was like, I think I got to recut it because it's not really, you know, we're not country artists. You know what I mean? It's just a country pop fun record. That's all it is.
That's right.
And yeah, dude, when he cut it, when Dan played it, that was that. And then, all right. So now I have the song and I start going into TikTok reviews for like 2 months. Okay. Right. And I'm going into these reviews and I'm just sharing the song. I mean, hip hop reviews, pop reviews, a lot of hip hop reviews, but hip hop reviews, pop reviews, all these different reviews. And everybody, it didn't matter who or what or who was the crowd or whatever, everybody took to the song. I have like screen recordings of majority of them. Wow. Because I wanted to get in it. You know, I think it's good footage to have. Yeah. Bro, like I was feeling what this song is. It was so different from what anybody was playing. It was so different from, you know, and that was kind of my cue. Like I kind of tested the waters through TikTok reviews and saw the reaction. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, one of those reviews randomly was T. Wayne.
Wow.
Whoa. Randomly. That's so like, I know. So Nasty Freestyle is like, a dog, the amount of times that I've turned up in my car to that. You know that song? No. Do you remember? First, let me hop out the motherfucking porch. Yes, don't want it if that's T. Wayne. That's T. Wayne. Yeah. So when he popped up, I know the song really, really well. And I've heard of a few other of his songs, but like that's the one.
Yeah,
and so
man.
So when you're on TikTok Live, like you kind of just scroll.
Yeah.
And my algorithm kind of triggered, I guess, TikTok reviews.
Wow.
And he was actually at the time, if I'm not mistaken, like early on in his TikTok, you know, he's big on TikTok now.
Right.
He's been doing TikTok, but like the lives.
Right.
And so he popped up and it was like, send me a galaxy to play your song.
Right.
And, you know, Galaxy's what, like $15, whatever it is, $20. And so, like, of course, gotta do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's playing a bunch of other records. I actually have his reaction
Do you?
too. Yeah, it's
Oh,
fucking
man,
hilarious. I'll
that's
show you guys
sick.
after. It's fantastic. I shared it. I actually shared it on one of my pages.
Can we share it on the pod?
Yeah,
Like we'll clip it in now.
Yeah,
clip it
yeah,
in.
definitely.
All right, cool. Boom.
So his reaction was so dope, bro. It was so genuine. And mind you, his forgive me, Wayne. I don't know if this is your wife or girlfriend, but your you know
Significant other.
significant other and son, right, are in the room.
Yeah.
And so he's playing a record, and his face, and this is the music face. You know, this is the
Yeah.
that's the music
100%.
face.
Yeah,
That's when you hear, and he did it, right? And bro, his reaction was just so dope and so genuine. And then he talked about like how, you know, his wife is singing to it. She shows him singing it, and his kid is dancing, and like I think it just made him feel something, you know?
Yeah.
And that was that. That was that, right? And then
You're buzzing. You're buzzing.
Yeah, I think it was. I just thought it was dope. Like
Yeah,
I didn't even go too deep into it, but like it was dope.
Yeah.
It was dope. Then I go back a week later and I sent him another galaxy. Like, you'll play my record again,
Yeah.
just so he didn't forget it.
That's right.
And
Persistence.
yeah, his reaction was super dope. And again, Nate happens to pop in. I didn't even know this until this moment, but like Nate happened to pop in, and I didn't know he had connected with Nate. Nate had popped into the live prior
Okay.
to me doing the second time. So when Nate comes into the live, I guess he had mentioned like, you know, you played Robbie's record, blah, 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 blah. And now he already loved Nate. I had played 2 other Nate records. And so he was now looking at it like, yo, you guys got a hit record and this is your artist. This kid is wildly talented. So he was enamored by it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just dope, bro. Just a genuine reaction, you know? And so then Nate comes into the live and I was like, yo, I'm commenting like, yo, Wayne, this is Nate, the artist who's on Set Me Free. And he goes, bro, you're late. Turns out Nate's scrolling through TikTok lives and hears the song. So T Wayne is on his live playing the song by himself.
Yo.
So and this is
You're not even there for it.
nobody was there for it.
Wow.
Nate happened to scroll through it. I didn't even see it or hear it. Nate happened to scroll through. And so he's like, yo, you're late. And in that moment, I think he was like, might have been right then and there. It was like, yo, send me an open verse.
Yeah.
So I sent him an open verse. He sent the verse back in 3 days.
Wow.
That's it.
Dude, that is.
And I got to give it up to T Wayne. Like, honestly, we don't even know each other like that.
That's right.
Like, we really don't. You know, and I'd love to get to know him more because I get a real sense of genuinity from him. Like, he's just a dope dude, bro. Like, he's a really dope dude. And I see how he is on live and stuff. Like, he's just a cool cat,
Shout out T Wayne, dude.
Yeah, man. He seems like a really cool cat, bro. And like to do this in general, like I know the game, bro. Like, you know, a lot of times people will, you know, they charge you for verses. They do this, they do that, like whatever it may be. And like, he just liked the record and he bought into it. And we wound up jumping on a phone call and he was explaining to me like how he operates when it comes to, you know, hearing something that he likes. Like he knows a hit when he hears it.
Yeah.
And that's why I told him like, oh, I'd love to have you on the record. I think it'd be so dope. And he wound up sending a verse back. I mean, he's popped off other artists too. Just by believing in their songs. Like I don't even want to tell his story with his Hotel Ugly, I don't even want to tell the story. If you look up Hotel Ugly, T Wayne
Okay.
is a part of that.
Okay.
And for all the right reasons. Like really, really dope. Good friend of his.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's not my
solid
story
dude,
to tell.
just
though.
straight up solid dude.
I have nothing to think otherwise.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
And so really dope, bro. Like
And
just
look at where
super
we are
dope,
now. You
bro.
got the song out there, T Wayne on it.
Fire.
Your boy Nate on it.
all the years that
You're right in the middle.
I've made music, bro.
Yeah, dude.
There's been very few people who have been like, yo, I'm gonna hop on your record. You're
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I do think the record is one of the stronger records I've ever put out, for sure. So I think it makes a difference. But for him to do that was just super dope, man. It was very dope. And now it's out. Took a little while to put it out. I mean, we had dropped the single on May 10th. I actually planned on dropping the T Wayne version sooner, but as things progressed, I got my man Wonder, who I was telling you about earlier, who I was signed to, who's like, production wise, that's my guy. Like, there's nobody I would turn to do anything when it comes to, there's a lot of people I would turn to actually, but like talent, I don't know. I think he's a very top tier, arguably the best I've ever been around in my life. Wow. Right. And so I hit him and I was like, yo, I would love to see what you would do to this record if we were to flip it, like even more than the acoustic version, you know, and I brought it to him and he flipped it.
There it is.
And so then we bought a little bit more time. We dropped the Jersey Club remix with DJ Lil Bruh, which that's people say that's their favorite.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
So him, Wheezy, shout out Wheezy, shout out DJ Lil Bruh, of course. That's like my brother. Steve Kellner, Caleb Avery, Kyle Thiem, sick guitar player. Everybody had a part in what was created here. You know what I mean? And so now everything's out. Now we got 4 versions out. There's 4 versions out. To be honest with you, I think the record's so dope. I might just drop
be something else.
version.
Yeah.
I had reached out to one artist in particular who's one of my favorite up and coming hip hop artists.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I don't even know if I should say. Probably. And he listen, I asked him, like, what would you charge for a feature? Yeah. Everybody, listen, if you're going to do, you're deserving of pay, period. And I knew going into anything like that you know. So I was prepared. I just said, like, I think this person would be really dope on this song. This would be 14 Wayne.
Right.
And he shot a number back. I was like, all right, cool. Let me, talk to my partner and we're going to figure this out. I'd love to get you on a record. In the meantime, here it is. Let me know what you think. Hit me back in 10 minutes, like, bro, I'd bang this in my car right now.
Wow.
I was like, all right, so we got another one. Like, if I wanted to go and do it, I would even do it where, like, it's Wayne and, like, 'cause who cares?
Yeah.
It'd be Wayne and this artist, and I just do the hook.
Wow.
And it would because that would actually make the record even. Yeah.
I gotta say, man, that hook is so catchy.
It's so catchy,
dude.
bro.
Fire.
And Nate helped shape that too. Like, I kind of had it all set up a certain way. And then my oohs were actually different. My oohs were like,
different.
Like it was something a little different.
Okay.
And Nate hit the ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah, man.
And we were like, bro, that's it.
That's just the song you roll your windows down to, bro. And
feels good, bro.
It's such a good feeling, man.
I think that if I stay very consistent with that song and just push it and not get tired of it, I think that's one of the hardest parts about being an artist is like, you get tired of it quick.
Right.
You forget that majority of people haven't heard it.
Yeah.
And so
that's true.
This is the one that I do believe, instead of forcing out other music, like, look at me and look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just hammer this record, bro. Like, I'm going to push this record till the wheels fall off. I might push it all the way into like next spring.
Hell yeah.
And then maybe it's a huge hit next.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
If you do need the Dave Valino feature,
you down?
Yeah, you just hit me up, man.
Let me hear your ooh.
And I won't go,
you're out.
I'm out. Shit. No, but I didn't have my water before. Man.
Yeah.
I got, you got to give me a second of water.
All right, yeah.
Because I'm listening.
All right, I'm going to give you a shot. We're going to bring you to the studio.
Cool.
Yeah. But if it's Cheeks.
And I won't big time anymore.
If it's Cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm letting everybody know, and I'm sharing it with the world. It's not going to go out
dude.
publicly, but I'm going to definitely put it on my Instagram.
That's cool. And I have no shame in that.
All right, cool.
This is ego death here.
All right, cool.
But I won't big time nobody. I'm not that kind of guy. Dude,
what would be your artist name?
Probably like
Davey Danger, dude.
Young Brando or Davey Danger or something in that realm. You know what I mean? Or
Young Brando. Maurice Cheeks,
like the basketball player.
Why Maurice Cheeks?
Mo Cheeks. I just think that's kind of like catchy.
I feel like Mo Cheeks should be a rapper
kind of sick, actually.
Right?
Mo Cheeks.
Thank you. I'm good at that.
I think your wife would love if your name was Mo Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks. Because it's a double entendre kind of, if you think about it. Right?
I think you're skating.
But and I'm not saying that's what I'm about. I'm just saying, like, that'd be for someone else.
I know if I went to my wife and I said, hey, I'm switching things up, I'm going out as Mo Cheeks, she'd be like, no, the fuck you're not.
No, for you, man.
No, you're not.
DJ Mo Cheeks.
Nope.
Anyway, man. Robbie, I think, and this is me being real, I think the thing I respect about you as a person, and when I see you putting your work out again, and it's catchy, and I'm always so glad to see you putting out stuff like that, dude. And selfishly, I'm just enjoying the music, being out there in the
Thank you,
world.
man.
Yeah, dude. But you're always spreading light. You've always tried to do that with everything you do. So, dude, I'm just happy to see you doing it. And yeah, anything you need from us ever, dude. Like, we're family. I'm here for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. Of course. And yeah, but we'll put our stuff out there too. But yeah, just keep doing it, man. I can't tell you the things I wanted to call you and just be like, you don't know how happy I am that you're putting out music like that.
I've had a lot of people.
You don't know how happy that made me.
And you asked me before we even started, like the people that followed you from
man.
right?
So the people that came before in the old days, that are they still
My
here?
following is so interesting, bro, because you have who followed me for music, which was the majority, up to like, let's say 12,000 people, 13,000 people. And then I had one video go very viral on the food side. So you had all these food people, and it went up to like 21, 22,000.
Right.
And now I'm back doing music, but it's country pop. So I don't really know if it's all clicked across the board. And like, again, I'm trying to make it all make sense. Like, I just enjoy making music. I really do. And doing this again, I've had this conversation with a few people, and I've said to them, like, I really have life again. Like, this feels really, really good. And the beautiful thing is it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like I'm pressed to do anything crazy. I care about what it is I give to the world, but I don't care what happens with it. I almost think that that's the reason that it'll work. Like, I'm not in it for the numbers and the this and the that. Like, I don't really, at this point, like, I don't. I just want to be myself, be a great dad, be a great husband, be that guy who makes music. So the music, what's interesting is now knowing where I'm at in my life and that I am sharing music, like a lot of what I'm writing and have been writing since making, kind of prior to Set Me Free a little bit, but like since making Set Me Free. And I've got some really good records that I'm very excited about. I'll share them with you guys after.
For sure.
It's like I'm writing from a space that's so genuine and real. Like, I'm writing from a space that is like where I'm actually at in my life without trying to force a hit. Set Me Free happens to be like the perfect balance of like where I'm at in my life and just one of them records. Like one of them records. Which is why I'm going to hammer it and keep hammering it. But yeah, I mean, I'm like at this really cool space where it's like, I want to write music. Like, I wrote a song, I wrote 2 songs that wouldn't necessarily catch like a Set Me Free.
Right.
But one of them I wrote from the perspective of my son. Like, so it's like, it goes like, good morning, Dad. I've been waiting since I woke up to see you. Pick me up. I want to take you to another book to grab. So like it's from his perspective. And it's really dope. And like, to me, it's not about how big of a hit can you make, but more or less what makes sense. And I think it's a very cool perspective where I'm at. And then I wrote this other one called I Miss 1998.
Now you're gonna get me with that one.
I haven't even recorded it yet, but it's written and it's it's good, dude. It's really good. So like, I'm playing into my demographic. I don't know.
We'll see.
Fuck it.
Yeah, you're gonna see. I'll show you.
Yeah.
I got some good ones, bro.
Feels free though.
I feel good, man. I feel really, really good. And Destination Happiness, like, I have had people that really believed in me from the beginning of Destination Happiness. DJ Lil Bruh being one of them. My partner Austin, who I've known for years, but just really respected my work ethic, my creativity. And when I had the brand initially, when I initially started the brand and was selling clothing, like, he was like, I love this. I've already seen you do what you do as an artist and what your capabilities are, but like what you just created with Destination Happiness, which we think is like the McDonald's Golden Arches, which we've been told that by prominent people, like that logo,
right?
It's a thing. There's a thing about it.
Yeah.
So, I haven't really overly promoted or shared, but we are relaunching Destination Happiness in a big way. We're going to start. We're going to start from the ground up again. We've gotten it on a lot of people already. We're very excited about what's to come, and all of what it is that I'm doing and everybody that's involved is just really pushing towards, bro, embracing your journey, being your best self.
That's right.
As best as you possibly can be.
Right.
You're not always going to be your best self, but like, remember that like every decision you make should be geared and pushed towards like more happiness, right? And over time that adds up and you feel better about yourself. And so, you know, we're encapsulating I'm encapsulating everything that I'm doing and wrapping it all around Destination Happiness. So from the music to what I present and what I do and my fun stuff, it's all got to be a representation of this brand. That's my baby. Yeah. And I think it's important for the world. I don't know. I feel like it's really good timing to relaunch it. Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, dude. And when you need models too, me and Mike are here, man.
Oh, I just need flood you guys with
and you
stuff,
know that,
dude.
and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
30
it's pretty
pounds,
obvious.
30 pounds down, man.
He's 30
I'm trying
pounds
to get
down,
there
bro.
to that model.
Are you?
Model weight.
100%.
Yeah.
See, I only knew you from
I know. You
A
saw me
screen,
on
yeah.
a
screen.
dude.
No, 30
Trying.
down, dude.
Wow, that's
Trying, bro.
fantastic.
Little,
bro.
little bit.
You
of
gonna keep
round
going
applause,
or?
man.
Oh, I'm going till
Consistent.
till I'm skinny. All right.
Wow, good, dude. How do you feel?
I need it. I feel great.
Yeah.
It's tough, dude.
Yeah.
It's tough because I don't know. We talk about this all the time. We talk about like how like it's just the plateau, the death by plateau
Death by plateau.
is my story.
Oh,
You
I
know?
think that's a lot of people's story,
Yeah,
bro.
man. It's just
you get content.
yeah.
Oh man.
All right. I always set a goal of like, oh, I'm going on vacation, so I got to do it. And then
Yeah, yeah.
I remember,
yeah.
and
I told you.
I have to
Yeah.
say this to this guy right here. The only reason I'm still going is when you told me, you're like, I'm scared when you come back.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever told me that before.
Yeah, because he'll get amped up. He's like, I'm going to Japan, dude. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm only eating this, and this is how many times I'm hitting the gym, and I'm gonna be reading more, and I'm gonna do blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go away. And I was like, dude, when you come back, I already know. I already know.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time, whatever. You're gonna come back, and it's gonna be like, I don't have
Yep.
nothing to work towards, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Setting the goal thing is a real thing. So what you have to do is like, I tell myself at the same time, like constantly set goals.
Yeah.
That's it.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
If that's your way
The carrot.
of
You need the
staying,
carrot
yeah,
in front.
you
Yeah.
need.
I think I tried that, but it didn't work. So I just want to put out there like the other options because there's no right way, right?
There's no right way.
I think it's pump up your friends, your boys
Mhm.
for stuff that you know they want to do
Mhm.
because that's
Yeah, it
what my
helps.
friend did, and
Yeah.
that helped me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm never not gonna.
Yep.
Because now I'm like, oh, then I'm letting Dave down,
Mm.
you know.
You let Mo Cheeks down, homie.
And I put you before me, you know, which is like messed
real.
up.
Wow.
But like I feel like a lot of people do that because if someone tells you something and they're like, you're gonna let them down. Like I'd rather not
Yeah.
let that person down.
Wow,
Than
so you're
me
putting
telling
ownership-
myself.
Yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I do think that's a regular thing where
Yeah.
you know somebody else tells you and it's
Yep.
like something you've damn near told yourself a million times
Yeah,
over,
man. Yeah, man.
or even somebody else, or like somebody that like your wife tells you,
Yeah.
and then like a friend tells you, and like you go back to your wife and you say, you know, I think I'm
friend
gonna
just told
whatever.
me-
And,
Yeah.
you know,
Dude, she
I
gets
didn't
so
I
mad
say
at
that?
me.
Oh,
Yep.
She gets so mad at me.
Why
for
didn't you
that.
listen to me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago the
Yeah.
same shit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the way I needed it to be heard.
I told you
Yeah,
They
too.
said it.
yeah,
wa-
yeah.
They said it way sicker.
Way, yeah,
Yeah,
something about the way they
yeah,
said
yeah.
it just rang true.
It was so much
Yeah.
cooler with the way
Yeah.
they put that
Yeah,
together.
man. The truth has a different ring to it, honey.
Yeah,
Anything
you're
like
digging.
that.
Now you're digging
Now
yourself.
you're in trouble.
Now you're in
Exactly,
trouble,
bro.
Yeah, don't say that.
Babe, I love you. You know I love you. Robbie, any questions for us? Any advice for us? Anything you want to hit us with on the
guys.
way
You
out
want to leave for the people?
for the people? For us.
Just stay tuned. Listen, I'm very excited to be dropping music again. I think I've been entertaining over the last 12 years, even though I've dabbled in a few different things over the last 6. Yeah, I mean, I really just want to push people. I want people to be inspired through me.
That's right.
In some capacity. That's enough. I'm not looking to. Obviously, I think my potential is ridiculous, but what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty confident in what can happen. I'm going to do everything I can to get to a place where like I'm living the life that I want to live and doing it how I want to do it. But yeah, I'm very excited to be dropping music. I'm very excited to be pushing the brand back out again. I feel like I found myself again. My son certainly helped me do it. I'm happy. Like I'm as happy as I've been in a long time right now. Yeah, I'm happy as I've ever been in a long time, and I hope everybody can find their happiness.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, guys, go stream the song
Set
right
You
now. Set Me
Free.
Free's out everywhere.
All the versions.
And dude, it takes, don't you want to see light get out into the world? Don't you want to help somebody out a little bit here? We got a great artist on our hands. It's a great song. You're going to vibe to it. It's the song of the summer. So do a little thing and hit share.
Yeah.
Share it with your
Yup.
friends.
Appreciate you
Have
guys,
some
man.
fun. Play it out there. Spin it. Show people it. Ride down to the beach. Just blasting it. Have a good time, man. You're going to love the song.
100%.
Set Me Free's out. Shout out to everyone who's a part of it. Robbie, we love you, man. Thank you for coming out, dude.
Love you too, man.
You're welcome
Love
back
you both.
anytime, bro.
Yeah. We'll do this again very soon.
Do whenever you want, bro.
Yeah.
We're here, man. But Mikey,
Hey, guys, thank you so much. Robbie, thank you. Congrats to the song, man.
Thank you, man.
My name's Mike. I'm signing out.
my name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to one another.
Robbie Maxx. Believe in yourself. Embrace your journey.
O'Hagan Career Coaching. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to send you, because I know someone out there, because I was that person, has been struggling with a job, man. And the only place I'm going to send you is O'Hagan Career Coaching. You don't know what you're doing. You got to brush up on stuff.
Come on.
You need someone with experience. You need someone that's going to pass you down those important techniques that have been the core of business, of getting yourself in the door, man. It's not as simple as just showing up with your scraggly little suit. Your scraggly little suit.
Yeah,
Get
but
up there,
do
tie
I
it up.
wear? What do I wear? What do I say? What's a good question and a bad question? What are they going to ask me?
We got to do a segment with him where we do like
Mock?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like we ask questions. He's like, that's terrible.
O'HaganCareerCoaching.com.
Yes.
Go hit up Jim O'Hagan, man. He's coach. He's got you.
Coach.
Anytime Actors Lab. .com. Again, guys, I'm not gonna spend too much time telling you, but I know there's an actor who's listening right now that's a little confused.
Sitting in the mirror trying to be the Joker. Stop it.
Let me
You're
tell
not
you,
going to do it.
you're
Realistic.
Yeah, bad.
Live truthfully.
Under imaginary circumstances.
Act truthfully. Or is it live or act?
Live. We're not
truthfully.
acting. Okay? This isn't a game.
It's not play pretend?
We're not playing pretend, man. We're living truthfully under imaginary circumstances, right?
Yes.
Your favorite actors, you're watching them work. They're living truthfully, man. They're living
That's my
impulsively,
favorite.
moment to moment. You don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm not bragging, but your boy's got the tool belt. And Adam's got the tool belt.
And where'd you get that?
I got it at a place you can't go anymore, but I can promise you, you can get it at a place right now. Maybe, if you're lucky, at anytimeactorslab.com. Slots are limited. Hit them up. You can get a free consultation. But if before that, check out the TikToks, check out the website, check out the YouTube page. He's the best. He's the best teacher around. He's your guy. He's our buddy. And yeah, he'd be nothing without me. But anytimeactorslab.com.
Heck yeah.
I snuck that in at the end.
Shout out.
Love you, Adam.
Everyone that already has given to us on the Patreon. Patreon.com/YourPodcast. If you want to support us, you want to throw us a bone.
Come on now.
To support this journey we've been on.
Come on now.
There's already been so many people that have touched our hearts, man. Touch them. And maybe feel really grateful for it.
Yeah.
And that's my acting, man.
Touched his. A lot of people touched Mike.
Yep. Y'all just know that when you subscribe to the Patreon, you're touching me.
You can touch Mike.
Patreon.com/YourPodcast.
Peace, guys.